So by looking at it, it looks like the 0 here at -3, and you can see that up in the top corner, left corner, and it looks like there's another one at 1. And so I'll show this again in class on the graphing calculators in terms of what it looks like on your guys's, but I see 2 values. We're supposed to have 4, so what's going on with the other 2? Am I not zoomed out to 20 something or 27? Even when I zoom out, I don't see any more. So it looks like we've got to stick with these 2, -3 and 1. Now they're still on our list of rational roots, so -3 and 1. So let's go ahead and take that, use synthetic division because it's in the form of, if we see the graph crossing at x equals 1, then that's the factor x minus 1. So k is equal to 1. If it crosses at x equals, what do we say, -3, then that would be x plus 3, and k is equal to -3. So when you get these values from your calculator, those are your k values. So when you go to do synthetic division, you're dividing by, x minus 1 and x plus 3. Those are factors of the polynomial. So here we go. It doesn't matter which one you start with. I'm just going to do 1 first. I'm going to plug in my coefficients, 1, 6, 14, 6, and -27. Carry down the 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Remember, we're adding these. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 21 is 21. And then 1 times 27 is 27, with the remainder of 0. This is exactly what we wanted and what we expected. Alright, so where I started with x to the 4th power, synthetic division, because really what I'm dividing by is x minus 1, I'm now left with x cubed. So I've taken the polynomial and I broke it down into an x cubed. Now, we can solve quadratics. So if we can at least get this down 1 more to a quadratic, then we should be able to solve it. Well, we did find 1 more. So let's go ahead and do the next one, which was -3. So we're going to divide it again by this factor of x plus 3. So we'll carry down the 1. -3 times 1 is -3. 7 times -3 is 4. -3 times 4 is -12. -3 times 9 is -27. So once again, we get that remainder of 0. So we went from x to the 4th, x to the 3rd, to x to the 2nd. So we are now left with a quadratic, x squared plus 4x plus 9. So right now we know the factors are x minus 1, x plus 3, and then x squared plus 4x plus 9. We're trying to find all the roots. Great. And so the last one that we have to do is this one. How do we solve that? Well, we can't factor it. Alright, there are no factors in 9 that add to give you 4. And so you're going to have to use one of your other methods. I'm going to choose to complete the square because my coefficient of x squared is 1 and my middle term is even. So here we go. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So you'll add 4 to both sides. That will get you -5. Take the square root. X plus 2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of -5, which would be the square root of 5i, and then subtract your 2. So x is equal to -2 plus or minus the square root of 5i. Where are your 4 solutions? You have 1, -3, and then -2 plus the square root of 5i and -2 minus the square root of 5i. Why didn't we see them on the graphing calculator? Because they're complex roots. They're imaginary numbers, so you don't see them on the real coordinate plane. So now we have finished. We've solved everything in terms of this. We were looking for 4 solutions. We found them. So here they are. X equals We had two rational, negative 3, 1, and then we had two imaginary complex roots here at negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 5i. So that is it. This is what we're getting into. This is kind of taking all the stuff that we've learned up to this point and putting it all together on one problem. How do we solve polynomial functions of higher degree than 2 when we can't factor them? We're going to use the graphing calculator to help us answer these questions. We're not going to just plug in numbers from our list of possible rational roots until we get a 0. We're going to use the graphing calculator to help us start the problem, and then we'll have to finish it once we break it down to a quadratic. So we'll continue to talk about this and discuss this a little bit more in class as well. Here's your homework assignment, and I will see you guys tomorrow.